finished. It's time to relax and have fun with loved ones. One day before dealing with the enormous pressure of trying to win a major championship on golf's grandest stage. And we welcome you to this tradition, which dates back to 1960. And the fun is about to begin. Let's go to the first tee. Here's Bill Young.
4, please. Now on the tee, Adam Svensson.
Svensson, the first competitor on the renovated par 3 course. And a nice shot to this hole, playing 113 yards.
Four, please. Now on the tee, Bryson DeChambeau.
This new first hole playing downhill toward DeSoto Pond. The renovations designed to have more of the holes, the first 5, play in proximity to the pond.
4, please. Now on the tee, Sergio Garcia.
Ninth appearance at the par 3. And of course, the 2017 Masters champion. One of 20 Masters champions who will participate in the par 3 today. A gorgeous day here at the Augusta National Golf Club, and this cherished Wednesday tradition has begun again.
Welcome to Masters Wednesday, which means a practice round ticket harder to score than a seat at the Taylor Swift Tour. And of course, the annual par 3 contest, held this year on the newly renovated course. This isn't the most important day in golf, or the most tense, or the most prestigious, but it just might be the best. The greatest players in the world are there with their friends or wives or girlfriends or kids serving as their caddies. Countless Christmas card photos are no doubt taken every year. The 9th hole, when the caddies usually get to take a shot, can bring a moment like this bit of magic from 2018, when GT Nicholas squared up from 135 yards.
Oh, GT, you're gonna love that. There it comes, there it comes. Let's stay right in the hole, my man. In the hole, in the hole, in the hole.
His granddad cried and said it was his best moment in golf. That's Wednesday at Augusta. That's the par 3 contest. They're not chasing checks or green-colored blazers. They're after something much, much better than that.
ESPN and the Augusta National Golf Club proudly present the par 3 contest. And we welcome you to our live coverage here on ESPN+. We'll shift over to ESPN at 3 o'clock. Sean McDonough along with Curtis Strange on our familiar perch here on the 9th tee, just a few feet from where GT Nicholas made us all laugh and smile and cry along with his grandfather a couple of years ago. Curtis, you played in 7 of these, and like so much of what happens here surrounding the Masters, it's an event that has gotten better and evolved through the years as time's gone along.
Well, if they say you don't have a project going on, you're falling behind. The Masters never falls behind. There's always something evolving. And here this year has been a change to the golf course. They revamped the first 5 holes. And you say, how could it get better? It got better. They took out, as you see here, a lot of the trees, a lot of amphitheater behind the first tee, the second green, this third tee. It is absolutely spectacular.
That's a look at the first hole. The former first hole ran perpendicular to the hole you're looking at right now. The idea to bring the DeSoto Pond into view more often, sometimes into play. For some of us, it would be in play. For players like you, the water not so much in play today. But they wanted to make room for the patrons because this has become a cherished ticket throughout the years. And here's a look at the new 5, the yardages. The first hole this year a little bit shorter than in years gone by. This year the second hole plays at 103, the third hole at 99. The shortest hole will be the fourth at just 67 yards, and then the fifth hole 142. We have 76 of the 88 who will play in the tournament this weekend here. We also have 6 non-competing past champions, some of the greatest names in golf. Tom Watson, memorably a winner here in the par 3 just a couple of years ago. And the lowest score, the 8 under, carded by Jimmy Walker, including a hole-in-one back in 2016. Now, those who have watched this event throughout the years know no par 3 champion has gone on to win the tournament over the following 4 days, and it's a bit of a superstition. How do you feel about that? If you were playing today, would you want to win?
Well, I think it depends on how many family members you have or how many shots they're going to hit, because if a family member hits a shot, you don't count. But it's just so unique to major championship golf or professional golf in general to have such a relaxed atmosphere, a fun atmosphere the afternoon before this all begins. But they enjoy it. And this has evolved too, the kids being around. When I was finishing up, I think my kids caddied for me maybe 1 year. Now the family's involved.
They caddied for you and then they got sent to their rooms. So that was a strange family tradition that did not last very long. But as we mentioned, almost full attendance from the 88 who will play. And we also have past non-competing champions now. Marco Mira is out early with Ben Crenshaw. They'll be on the first tee shortly. Adrian Marant, the first competitor from Poland, rather. There have probably been others from Portland to play in the Masters, with John Rahm and Tony Finau, Zalatoris, Horschel, and Im. Billy's one of those guys who believes in the jinx. He has never completed his round here. Has had his kids hit some shots. Scheffler, Kim, and Burns will tee it up just after 1:30 Eastern time.
Harold, 1 second. 4, please. Now on the tee, Harold Varner III.
He'll be playing in his second Masters when he tees it up tomorrow.
Still learning the golf course, learning the slopes, the speed of the greens, and this is a great practice. We used to hang out here in practice rounds late in the afternoon. For some of these big hitters, this would be a great place for them to hang out, to get used to the in-between shot, the 80 to 110 type shot.
Well, when this event
4, please.
first
Now on
started,
the
that
tee,
was the
Taylor
idea.
Gooch.
Taylor Gooch playing in his second par 3, played in his first Masters tournament last year, played well, finished tied for 14th.
There we go.
That's the way to play it. So many of the holes in one on these holes throughout the years made by hitting it a little long and spinning it back.
4, please. Now on the tee, Thomas Peters.
Now, Curtis, to your point, when this event began, was the idea of the chairman Clifford Roberts back in the late 1950s. It was with the thought it would be a friendly competition to allow the players to sharper in their short games on the eve of the Masters tournament.
And before the children got involved, it was a bit of a competition. We've certainly had the no winner ever winning here in the big tournament, but it was a competition.
On the second tee, Sergio Garcia, 103 yards. This is back uphill after the new first hole plays downhill.
You know, it's actually, I walked it the other day. It's a bit of a more of a challenge for these short irons. It's actually a better little golf course, I think.
Beautiful day, 80 degrees. It might threaten the record for this date here in Augusta. The record, the all-time high is 91. Forecast high today is 89, and this is sadly likely to be the best day of the week. Tomorrow, okay, but then it's a little iffy thereafter. The temperature is going to drop down into the low 50s here with rain on Saturday.
I don't remember how cold it got on Saturday last year.
I'm Sean McDonough with Curtis Strange in our tower on the 9th tee. Michael Collins will be conducting interviews on the 9th tee. It'll be a while before we hear from Michael as the play is just beginning at number 1. Marty Smith is on the first tee, and he'll be conducting interviews there. Svensson, the 29-year-old Canadian, and that is a birdie for Adam. This event won by 2 Canadians last year. Mike Weir and Mackenzie Hughes shared the title, an event that was shortened due to inclement weather.
And these players are trying on these short shots, short putts. Absolutely. You don't want to leave today after missing a few and thinking, oh no, what have I done? What have I got to do tomorrow? So there is some try in these players. And then if you make a bunch, it makes you feel good. Nicely done, Serge.
Of course, part of the backdrop to this Masters, the Live Golf Tour. Sergio, one of 18 from the Live Tour, playing in the Masters this weekend.
I think old Harold Varno's giving up from the first hole. Got his hands full. Got his hands full.
Yeah, the youngsters involved early with that group. That is an all Live Golf trio there of Varner, Gooch, and Peters. 16 of the 18 Live golfers playing in this par 3 today. And for the most part, they're playing together. There are 4 threesomes of Live Golf players.
Imagine that.
But I think out of respect
and there's
for
no animosity, is there? No, not at all.
Well, thankfully, if there is, they've kept it under wraps, and I think it's out of respect for the venue and the tournament and the traditions. This is not the place to have a rock fight.
Well, they said dinner last night was spectacular. Very nice, as always.
Svensson, another hole now that goes right down the hill toward the water, 99 yards. He'll be playing in his first major championship tomorrow. That's Lynn Swann, familiar to many. Great Pittsburgh Steeler wide receiver, a member here at Augusta National.
This is somewhat similar to the old third hole. Longer, tee back, green in pretty much the same position, but because the tee went back, it went up the hill just a bit. Pretty this little hole is. Every one of these holes would fit on a golf course somewhere. Short little par 3 to me is beautiful. Everybody remembers the 7th hole at Pebble Beach and some other short par 3s around the world.
Sergio will be teeing it up in his 24th Masters this weekend. And DeChambeau, his length should not be an advantage here today. The course plays 1,004 yards. No benefit from being a big hitter here.
Maybe I can hit a lot of greens in regulation here then. I can get it all to them.
Back to the first tee where we find 3 of the all-time greats.
Okay. 113. Okay. Ian, we're ready when you are. Ready? Yes, sir. Excuse me 1 second. 4, please. Now on the tee, Ian Woosnam.
What a great Masters champion he's been over the years.
Oh boy, that might be our first in the water at the new first hole from the 1991 Masters winner.
4, please. Now on the tee, Sandy Lyle.
Sandy Lyle playing his last Masters this year. Who can forget the 7-iron out of the fairway bunker coming up 18 to about 10 feet and then made the putt.
In 1988, make birdie and beat Mark Calcavecchia by 1. This will be his 42nd, and as Curtis said, final Masters, and his 101st major.
4, please. Now on the tee, Nick Faldo.
3 Englishmen, all 65 years old, all Masters champions, and all in the World Golf Hall of Fame.
And this one of the best.
3 times Masters winner.
Just retired from CBS this past year. Working a little Sky Sport this week.
He has the early lean going. Into that low area on the front of the green. He'll have a long uphill birdie putt. At the 3rd hole now, it's Bryson DeChambeau for birdie.
Slimmed down Bryson DeChambeau. Lost 25 or so pounds. Still looks fit. You know, the question is how hard he went at it, the way he changed his game. Would the body hold up? It did not hold up.
3 straight pars for DeChambeau. Sergio after his birdie at the last for another here at the 3rd.
Greens are all the same grass over here on the par 3 as they are on the big course. Maybe just a touch slower here.
But again, they look like they've been there for a long time.
It's the way they do it here.
1 under for Sergio. He talked about how he idolized Jose Maria Olazabal, and in 2017 Jose Maria left him a note in his locker and told him, next year I'm hoping to share my locker in the champions locker room with you. And sure enough, that's what happened. Svensson back-to-back birdies.
You know, if I was young and confident, I'd want to win and take my chances.
Yeah, somebody's going to do it eventually.
Well, I don't know, but I don't believe in this stuff.
Your best finish in your 7 appearances in this was tied for 6th.
Well, we had fun when we went out there. We tried for the first 4 or 5 or 6 holes, and then somebody would invariably hit it, a poor shot in the water somewhere. But I didn't play a lot. In my day, when I thought I had a chance to win here, I took the afternoon off. I played 18, which most of them do not do now, as we over to the first and Nick Faldo. I would play 18, practice, and just thought it was time to go rest.
Well, most are coming out here today. There are 12 of the 88 who are not on the tee sheet. Of course, they could show up and join the field. But among those who are not playing today, Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson. But still plenty of the game's brightest stars. And another noticeable difference with the change is just all these open vistas for these patrons. Before you used to see them peering through the trees, and now there are all kinds of great places to stand.
And this is a hole 4 is completely redone, completely new look. Trees taken out behind the tee, great vista, amphitheater.
Fourth hole's the shortest, just 67 yards. Uh-oh. They were nice to the competitors here today. They've let the grass grow behind the greens. Had that been closely mown, that might have been in the water. Now Sergio. Beat Justin Rose in a playoff in 2017 to earn his green jacket.
Yes, folks, it's as pretty as you can imagine. It really is. It's spectacular. It's hard to think they could improve on what was already here, and they did just that. I think a little better shaped greens, good looking holes, opens up everything as we talked about. Took many trees out.
And not a breath of wind right now. DeChambeau.
Get in.
Very nearly the first ace on the new fourth hole. So let's send you back to the first tee. Welcome in Marty Smith, whose special guest is the reigning U.S. Open champion Matt Fitzpatrick.
Thank you, Sean. That's right. 2022 U.S. Open champion Matthew Fitzpatrick is here. All right, first, who's caddying for us?
It's my girlfriend, Catherine. Yeah.
Catherine, what do you expect here? How do you expect this is going to go for you?
I'm hoping it's going really well, but not too well because there's a curse supposedly.
There's definitely a curse.
But curses are meant to be broken.
There you go. Yeah, but no, we're looking forward to it. Just gonna have fun and got a good group with Dan and Tyrrell. So yeah, we'll enjoy it.
Matthew, when you're about to embark on such a pressure-filled week, how does a day like this that is relaxed kind of ground you in the event?
Great. Yeah, it's totally, for me, it's, aside from winning, it's the highlight of the week. It's, just a lot of fun doing this. It's something different that obviously other tournaments don't have, and like you say, it just kind of takes your mind off what's going to happen tomorrow. So yeah, it's just 2 hours of good fun.
Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for your time. Good luck. Sean.
All right, Marty, thank you. Nick Faldo now on the tee at 2.
Swing hasn't changed over the years. Maybe just a little bit shorter backswing.
And maybe without the TV schedule, chance to play a little more golf. And a nice looking shot there. Back to the tee at 1, Tyrrell Hatton.
He's become a solid player, consistent player, I should say, over the years. Built a pretty good foundation, which brings out consistency.
Four, please. Now on the tee, Danny Willett.
Another trio of Englishmen. Willett, the 2016 Masters champion. Well, he's already won a Masters, so you might as well try to win the par 3 today. 12 men who have won both. Willett has never turned in a scorecard. Apparently he's another believer in the jinx.
4, please. Now on the tee, Matt Fitzpatrick.
What a champion he became last year, winning the U.S. Open at the Country Club outside of Boston. Great golf course, great finishing second shot for this young man out of the left bunker.
Oh boy.
Just,
of course, you won the U.S. Open there, and you can appreciate what a difficult shot that was.
well, I'm a bit partial, but he played so well, such a good finish. Will Zalatoris had a chance at the last. Numerous other players.
He won by 1 over Zalatoris and Scotty Scheffler on the same course where Matthew Fitzpatrick won the U.S. Amateur in 2013. Svensson apparently misclubbed by his girlfriend Gabby Powell. Now, would you have had Sarah caddy for you?
I don't think Sarah wanted a caddy. I asked her numerous times, and she didn't even listen. So what else is new?
It was great to see Mrs. Strange here. You have some grandchildren here.
Yep.
You, like so many of these patrons here today, enjoying a great family experience. Sergio at 2 under as he played the 4th hole. We're trying to get to 2 under. Then we saw the scoreboard, so if you're paying attention, you knew that he made it. Nick Faldo now with the 2nd hole for birdie. Two of his 3 Masters championships and playoffs, and of course the other, the memorable comeback when Greg Norman faded on the final day.
Greg Norman faded, but he was there for the taking. Played a great last round.
Sergio wondering about the club selection. The new 5th hole is 142 yards today, making it 2nd longest, 1 yard shorter than the next hole they'll play, and this hole moved over closer to the water to bring the water a little bit more into play. Long, narrow green here at number 5.
Most demanding hole on the golf course.
And on the green. Let's go back to the first tee and Marty Smith.
Thank you, Sean. I'm here with 1992 Masters champion, Mr. Freddie Couples, the sweetest swing of all time, in my opinion. They agree with me, man. They agree with me.
They have to. They have to.
They have to. That's right.
Yes,
You're standing here.
Exactly.
When you've done this for more than 30 years and you walk in here and you're a champion for that long, what's the emotion each year when you walk back in here?
Yeah, well, I'm playing with my good buddy Mark O'Meara and longtime friend Ben Crenshaw, so we have a great pairing. But for me personally, this is, it kind of gets me ready for Thursday, believe it or not. I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking. So it's kind of a fun day. The patrons love it. We actually love it. Hopefully there'll be a hole in 1 or 2. But I get juices flowing early, and this is fun. And they've changed the course. I did play it in October, and it's just incredible. I mean, just look right here. I mean, you see everything. Whereas years before it was a little blocked out, if I can say that, but now it's wide open, and the pond and the greens and the white sand. Augusta's overdone it.
Nobody's aced 1 in the par 3 since 2011. You getting ready to do it?
I'll take a 2 right now and quit.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, Mark.
Appreciate you, sir. Sean.
Of course, it's a new number 1, but Craig Stadler was the last man to
4,
make an
please.
ace on the first.
Down the tee, Mark O'Meara.
1998 Masters champion.
Still playing out there with the older gentleman. Not playing a lot, but still plays 5 or 6, 7 times a year. Enough to keep his hand in it.
Now 66 years old.
Yes, sir. down the tee. Fred Couples.
Freddie's longevity has been incredible. Kept his flexibility, kept his want to win, to play well.
Won the Masters in 1992. Hard to believe 31 years ago. Marty said no one's made a one on the new number one. That was pretty close. And there is some hardware at the end of the day for the closest shot on each hole.
4, please. Now on the tee. Ben Crenshaw.
Three holes in one in 46 previous appearances in the par 3. The all-time record is 4 by Gary Player, who we'll see later today. Ben now 71. Stopped playing in the Masters in 2015, but you heard the roar for him. Still
they love him.
Among the most popular.
You know, they love him and we love him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a friend of everyone's. Now back over at 4, down the hill. 3. Sorry.
Well, they're new. You have to get used to it.
I get it. Yeah. You never learn a golf course really well until you play it. Very nice.
Well, we mentioned earlier this contest dates back to 1960. Lots of aces through the years. 102. Zach Johnson's came one shot after Gary Player had made an ace right in front of him. In 2016, there were 9. That's the record for a single year. Gary's came at age 80. Last time we didn't have at least one hole-in-one was 1991. So we expect more today. Had just one last year by Jason Kokrak, but it was a weather-shortened event. Sergio birdie putt at 5.
Very fast. Straight down the hill. Barely moved it, as you see. Kept the slope.
Now that's
what
be a little bit faster.
That's what you don't want to do, especially starting tomorrow. We see that so often. For the next 4 days, somebody will have a very fast one down the hill. They'll leave it short. Now they bring in the dreaded 4-putt possibly, because if this doesn't go in, this one's very fast. It reminds me of the Seve put a good shot in there at 16 one year and 4-putted, and some bold reporter asked him, how did you do that, Seve? He said, I miss, I miss, I miss, I make.
Mm-hmm. That has been repeated by many golfers around the world, as some of us have 4-putted from time to time. Faldo with the birdie at number 2. Now Svensson bidding to take the lead all by himself. He and Sergio paired together, both 2 under now as they've played 5 holes. And let's take a look at the early leaderboard. After a little more than a half hour of play here in the 61st par 3 contest. Svensson and Sergio in the same group. They're 2 under. DeChambeau and Faldo 1 under. And here's Mark O'Meara at the first for a birdie. Mark's one of those men who's won both the Masters and the par 3. Won this competition in 2007. Ben Crenshaw putting for par.
One of the greatest putters of all time. Maybe not right there, but he certainly made his he certainly made his share in his career, starting back even in college.
Yeah, good one.
And a tap-in birdie for Couples. So that trio of Masters champions will make their way up the hill to play number 2. The first 6 holes all wrap around the DeSoto Pond. Up in the top right corner of your screen now is the 6th tee. That remains unchanged. And Curtis, one of the hardest tee shots because it's entirely over water, not a lot of room. If you're short of the green, it's going to get wet.
I don't think we see a lot of balls of water around here, but certainly beautiful, isn't it?
It is. And the longest hole today to a front hole location, 143 yards. Nice shot. A lot of the lead up to this tournament too about Live Golf, Curtis. Hard to know the kind of form players who are playing on that tour are in as they come here because they've played very little golf.
Well, they've only played 3 tournaments in this calendar year. That's really 9 rounds for Live Golf. A few of these have played another tournament or 2 overseas. But are they competitively sharp? Have they played enough competition to compete here on this stage?
There was a time not long ago when DeChambeau was the talk of the golf world. You don't hear very much about him, and that would give you pause if you were rooting for him over the next 4 days. That's a major miss. And it's not just for guys like me for whom the water is in play on this hole. Svensson played collegiately at Barry University in Florida, was a Division II All-American. He's from Surrey, British Columbia. Lost his tour card in 2019. Said it really made him get serious, realize that he wasn't good enough if he wants to live his dream. Playing on the PGA Tour, went back to the Korn Ferry Tour and earned his card. Thomas Peters on the 5th tee. Recent convert to Live Golf.
You know, Sean, to your point, that for a young man or a woman to get on her tour, there's so many good young players now. Once you get out there, I think it's easier to stay than it is to even get out there initially.
Here's Tyrrell Hatton, the downhill par 3 3rd hole. They're all par 3s, 99 yards and a dandy. Hatton hasn't played here very well. He said normally I'm a good putter, but he said he has not putted well here at all. So he hopes that if he has his usual putting form, he will be a factor here this year.
These are tough greens to read and putt because of the slope and the speed combined. It takes some years to learn the local knowledge, to trust it, and then to execute.
Now, if your family is slow, do you get put on the clock? Because we have some potential violations. I think in the spirit of the competition, they'll be a bit more gentle when it comes to the timing.
So there shouldn't be a pitch clock here this week, right?
No. But the Gooch family might want to pick up the pace a little bit. Of course, the family member is not obligated to complete the 9. Now Tyrrell Hatton missing his birdie putt. 6 times a winner on the DP World Tour. Really one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
And known for his feisty on-course demeanor, but by all accounts, a lovely guy to talk to off the golf course.
Well, the game does it to us, but you know, that's a good thing. If that's the way his makeup is, play that way. Just don't let it affect the next shot or that round. But it keeps the energy, it keeps the motivation. Get up every morning wanting to go play, go to get better.
Harold Varner does not seem stressed on the eve of the Masters tournament. Plays right up the road at beautiful Quail Hollow in Charlotte. A couple hours drive from here. Birdie try for Faldo.
You know, something tells me he would like nothing better than to make a bunch of birdies here and win.
You had some memorable head-to-heads with Nick Faldo.
I did. Some good, some not so good. But that's good. They're all memories. One in the Ryder Cup where he beat me in the last round, and certainly one in the playoff at the Country Club at the U.S. Open. So they're still memories. They're still part of your career.
Example of your modesty that you mentioned the negative first. Winning the playoff.
Well,
at the
it's
Country Club was a nice accomplishment.
You always want to go head-to-head against the best. And it's fun. It's challenging. You have to rise to the occasion.
We're at the first green. This is an all-Canadian trio. We have some themes, as you've already figured out if you've been paying attention. And if you're not, there are still some themes. 3 Canadians. Mackenzie Hughes makes the putt. He and Corey Connors are playing with Mike Weir, who they both grew up idolizing and who has become a mentor to them. Of course, Weir, the 2003 Masters champion, the first Canadian male to win a major, and now faring well on the PGA Tour champions at age 52.
And he won this tournament doing it a little bit different way, not bombing it, not hitting it on all the par 5s, and 2, wedging it to a lot of the par 5s. And you can do it. It's a little bit tougher, but you can still do it.
Danny Willett will not be handing in a scorecard today. His son with a 3-putt. So that'll be 7 appearances at the par 3 for Danny Willett without an official scorecard. But that's for many of these. It's about letting the family have a fun day. Faldo now 1 under as he plays the 5th hole. He's a shot off the lead, shared by Svensson and Garcia.
Oh.
It sounded a little heavy.
But when you get no backspin when you hit it flat, go in. Oh, you're kidding me.
Once a commentator, always a commentator. We are just getting started here between ESPN Plus and ESPN, with you until 5 o'clock Eastern Time at the par 3 contest. Live coverage of the par 3 contest at 3 o'clock on ESPN. We're with you here on ESPN Plus. Sergio Garcia at the 7th, uphill. One of these holes that was not changed. 6 through 9 remain as they've been in recent years. This one playing 108 up the hill.
And this is one of the 2 holes where the whole location, we certainly expect maybe somebody to make a hole-in-one here.
And the most holes in one over the years at 7 and at 9.
That's what I just said. 7, though, just a little bit beyond to the right. Spin it back to the hole.
Come on.
DeChambeau trying to use the slope.
Keep going there.
He really looks good. I like the less weight.
Svensson. This could be really close if it doesn't have too much zip, and it did. We mentioned a lot of holes in one on the 7th hole, including Fred Couples in 2008. Ben Crenshaw made one on that hole twice, the last in 2013. Gary Player in 2016 at age 80. The oldest man to make a hole-in-one in the par 3 contest. Zach Johnson heard it, saw it in the group just behind, and on the very next shot, he dropped one right on top of Gary Player. And then if you're squeamish, you'll remember this and you may want to look away. Tony Finau used that slope on the right, took off in a sprint up the fairway. It was a little bit wet that day. Turned his ankle gruesomely, popped it back into place. Finished his par 3 contest with the family in tow. He had a dramatically black and blue and swollen ankle the next day and went out and had a terrific first couple of days in the Masters tournament. He wasn't even sure the night before he'd be able to compete.
And all he talks about now is how embarrassed he was. Why did you stop playing? I was too embarrassed to stop playing.
So Danny Willett is going to use his child's putter. That's how you do it. Think we'll see that in the bag tomorrow?
You won't be able to find it if he sticks it in the bag.
Didn't Andy North, our colleague, will join us later, use a putter about that short?
Yeah, that's when he was searching just a bit. Looky here, this is the best sandbox I've seen in a while. Dad. Let's take this home.
Svensson in his first Masters, so far not thinking about the jinx. And he holds it to take the lead. Goes to 3 under. Oh. Romance on the par 3 course. Back to the first tee. Kevin Kisner apparently ready to get going. There's Sergio now. And he's tied with Svensson for the lead, and still romance in the air on the 7th hole. We're told his caddy is Jose Andres, who's a friend and a famous chef. We have some celebrity caddies coming throughout the day. We'll chronicle as best we can. Here's our celebrity, Marty Smith, with a man whose ankle looks terrific today, Tony Finau.
Much better than in the video you just showed a moment ago, Sean. That's right. I got the whole Finau squad. All right, introduce me to the whole squad, Tony.
Yeah, my beautiful wife, Elena. Our oldest, Drace, is 11. Nini is 10. Tony is 7. He just turned 8. Thank you, Tony. Tony just turned 8 last week. And Sage is 6. And Vivi is 21 months old.
What a beautiful family. Happy birthday, by the way. When you are someone that champions family time and cohesion the way that you do, what is the meaning of an event like today?
Of all the traditions they have here at Augusta National and the Masters, this is the one I like the most. I love to have my family here with me. It's just so fun and so cool. It's like the calm before the storm. You know, tomorrow the storm starts. You know, we're all trying to chase after a green jacket. But today, I'm just cruising along a par 3 golf course. I grew up on a par 3 golf course, so it's my favorite type of course to play. And then to have my family with me, they've got the jumpsuits on, they got the hats. It's my favorite tradition.
This man is a very engaged father. I know that. He's a great friend. But you got to wrangle all of this all the time.
That's right.
What is that challenge like?
It's hard, but it's fun. I got some good helpers right here, these two. I love it.
I love it too. Thank you guys so much for all being here. Have a blast this week, brother.
Thanks,
appreciate you guys. Sean?
without question, one of the really nice guys in golf. DeChambeau after the water ball on the previous hole. That's the closest so far on number 7. If it stands, he'll leave with some crystal. That's his mom, Jan, caddying for him. First tee and a local favorite, Kevin Kisner from just across the border in South Carolina. Showing the way.
Down the tee, Gary Woodland.
First group has made it to number 8, dramatically downhill across the Eisenhower Pond, playing 114 yards.
So much downhill, probably playing about 95 or so. Sergio going way on beyond, bringing it back to the hole.
And you heard Gary Woodland introduced a moment ago.
U.S. Open champion at Pebble Beach.
That was in 2019. He's never played well here. Best finish is tied for 24th. There's Marty with the Rahm family.
Yeah. That's right, here with John Rahm and family. All right, first, Keppel was the star of this broadcast last year. Do you just want to take the microphone, bud, and take off?
You want to take the mic again?
Oh, nope, shy this year.
Well, he already tasted it, right? So he knows it's no good.
Okay, you want to take it back? You sure?
You want to talk into it? Can you
Say
sing?
hi. I understand. I'm shy too. What is this event for you and your family?
It's something very unique, right? I think in this life we live, especially in majors, everything's a little, not hectic, but a bit high stress in a week like this. So the fact that the tournament and Augusta National itself does this for us, it's amazing. Something to enjoy with our family, something we look forward to every year, and they're going to look forward to once they're old enough, right? And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a lot of great memories, a lot of great pictures taken today, and especially with a good friend like Tony, it should be a really fun day.
Have a blast today. Best of luck this week. I always appreciate you, brother. Thank you, guys. Sean?
All right, well, wife Kelly, they met at Arizona State. She was a javelin thrower. 7th hole, Thomas Peters. Sandy Lyle.
Familiar swing there. Mentioned earlier, playing in his last Masters, along with Larry Mize, who we'll see later today.
He's won this event twice, the par 3, back-to-back in 97 and 98. Nearly won it a couple of years ago, lost in a playoff to Matt Wallace. Hatton's ball in the air at the 5th.
Good shot.
Svensson and Garcia in the first group out, tied at 3 under par as they play the 8th hole. Faldo, O'Meara, Couples, Weir, all Masters champions, 1 under par. Kenzie Hughes shared the par 3 title with his fellow Canadian Mike Weir last year. As we've seen again today, the par 3 contest has become one of the beloved traditions of the Masters, not just for the patrons, but for the players and their families as well.
One of the most unique and fun couple hours that we have all year. And now with a son that's going to be walking around, it'll be a really cool experience for our family.
I think it's more important for my wife than it is for me. She loves it. It's our family time.
Last year we just had a ton of fun. It was like a good relaxing time before kind of the mayhem of the tournament starts.
indeed, that is, what it has become throughout the decade. Sam Snead, the first winner back in 1960. Some of the greatest names in golf have won the par 3 contest. Fred Couples.
He's made the cut in 22 straight Masters.
That's Sandy Lyle tapping in at the 6th hole. Closest so far, 7.3 inches. Sergio now for the outright lead. And then the question becomes, will he finish the round, post a score, or will he let Chef Jose saute one on the 9th? Suddenly scooped at the last moment. Oh boy. That was Daddy's golf ball. It might have been all right, but it was not. Tony Finau ready to go. Mentioned 2018 when he turned his ankle. Went out the next day, Curtis, and shot 68 when he had a hard time walking.
It was phenomenal. He came, we had him in the Butler cabin, and he was surprised as everybody else. And he ended up playing very well that night. One of the heavy favorites this week. He and Scheffler and Rory McIlroy. 3-time winner already this year. A lot of confidence.
Thank you.
How are you? Four, please. Now on the tee, Adrian Barak.
Mentioned when we first came on the air, this gentleman is from Poland. He'll be the first to represent that country in the Masters when he tees it up tomorrow. 29 years old, here by virtue of a top 50 ranking in the world golf rankings at the end of 2022.
What a thrill it must be for him.
You can imagine he might even be a little bit nervous here.
Absolutely. He's nervous all day long, every day. The first time here.
Already made history for Poland, their first winner on the DP World Tour, their first golfer to play in a U.S. Open. That is Stephen Kisner, Kevin Kisner's youngest. Younger brother of Henry, who's also strolling the grounds. Oh, Jose.
Sí, porque si le doy arriba, baja.
We know he's good with a spatula. Is he good with a knife?
Sergio, how confident are you with your caddying right now?
He's going to hit in the hole. That's how confident I am. I don't know which hole, but he's going to hit in the hole.
The only thing you can do is put it in the water. Oh, hit the camera.
He was in between clubs here. He was in between a 9-iron and an 8-iron.
It's a 9-iron, but with a bib and everything, he can move us. So we're going to hit a nice, comfortable 8.
Smooth 8.
I'm doing like your father told me. Venga. I got it.
Whoa.
hopefully,
close.
Hopefully his food doesn't make you as fat as that shot was.
I'm sorry, you were leading. Sorry.
I'm offended by that comment.
That's Michael Collins on the tee. We haven't officially welcomed Michael in, but he'll be chatting with some of the competitors.
Okay, I need you to do the call here. She's scratch. All right, introduce her to everyone.
Gabby Powell, long driver. She lives in Jupiter, Florida.
What club she got in her hands?
Got a 46 pitching wedge. She's got a little high draw here.
Wow.
Sean, that's what happens when you make a fat joke, then they hit it skinny.
That actually sounded pretty